Because I saw somewhere where you lost like $1 million, bro. Tell me a little bit about that. How did that happen?
I think I'm on that track right now, man. Again,
Yeah.
I think I'm about to lose probably 300, 400 over the past few years. Yeah, I'm taking it right now, but that's just the game, man. You have your ups and downs. I lost it through multiple businesses in my 20s. I was in the wrong industry, I would say. Real estate ain't the same real estate when our parents grew up. You gotta understand, like, you bought a house for $400,000. It's your own primary house, and then 5 years later, it goes up to $600,000. You're paying that mortgage, but then you're paying the interest on that mortgage, then maintenance, then property taxes. Is there really that much of a good asset, like ROI on it? And the guys that are in real estate will tell, oh, it's a great buy. Yeah, it's good to own rental properties. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it is, but if I had 300 again, I'm like, just give me that. I'm gonna turn that into 3 million, right? So it's kind of like, do you have the skill set to do so, which I go into, and then all of a sudden we're in the news during COVID and stuff. Like,
what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Rise Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Hanny Mehari. I'm the CEO and founder of Hanny Mobile. Today, I have a special guest, man. Finally, man, I'm a big fan of this dude. So we have Sheraz Ali. Sheraz Ali is a real estate investor. He's the owner of Stock Sharks as well, too. So, bro, thanks for being on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's nice to be back in Winnipeg, for a little bit.
No, for sure,
man. Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, let's chat. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, man, let's get into it, man. So, Sheraz, I've been looking into your story, bro. It's remarkable what you've been doing. But tell me how this all started, bro. Like, you started not just through Stock Sharks, but like how you started in Winnipeg. How did that all come about?
Man, I was born and raised there my whole life. I was a South End kid. I went to Bonnycastle, Leach, Massey. Last year I went to FRC, and I don't know, man. I just kind of stayed cool with everybody. I tried to be at least cool with everybody. And yeah, just at a really young age, we started throwing events. I was like 16 at the time with my brother, and that turned into a pretty big promotional company. And then we got more into the owning of establishments, restaurants. Then, man, a lot of failures on the way, man. I was 24, losing a lot of money, 28, losing money, and then decided to make a pivot into real estate. And then from there, the thing with entrepreneurs, they get bored doing the same shit over and over again. Yeah. And I just tried different businesses, and, I failed at 20, maybe 30 businesses, and 2 or 3 hit. Right. And that's kind of the game you play. But during that process, you learn things, your mistakes you made that you could put into another business, or I worked in this business, let's do it here. And you learn from others as well. So now, I'm still moved into Texas 3 years ago and went in a pretty high interest rate environment. So I'm getting pretty punished there right now. So I kind of did a little bit off, and then, yeah, man. So I'm just waiting for the next time I could get some W's, but for right now, I'm taking something else.
100%, man. I like how you talk about your wins and your losses too.
Talk more about losses than wins.
Yeah,
you're not gonna learn anything from my wins.
Yeah, because I saw somewhere where you lost like $1 million, but tell me a little bit about that. How did that happen?
I think I'm on that track right now, man. Again,
yeah,
I think I'm about to lose probably 300, 400 over the past few years. Yeah, American. So I don't know what that is in Canadian, but I'm taking it right now, but. That's just the game, man. You have your ups and downs. I lost it through multiple businesses in my 20s. I was in the wrong industry, I would say. When you're in restaurants and establishments like that, there's a lot of high costs involved and low margins. Some of the things that I learned through that process was, I remember I was like 24 paying with Steve and a few other guys. We were paying like $40K a month in rent on all the places I had, and I was 24. So we'd borrow money on one profitable business, put in rent in the other. And then around 27, 28 happened again. So over leveraged myself, high personal guarantees. That was scary. Landlords want you to sign a personal guarantee, something I'll avoid now going forward. So you can't really declare personal bankruptcy, right? So I kind of just ate it, kept paying off, settled a few debts here and there. And yeah, man, it's just you take the losses. Like 8 out of 10 businesses fail. And as smart as you are and as much books you read, you're not going to be Elon who keeps winning. Who's brilliant, by the way, probably the smartest guy we've had in our generation ever. I'm sure he's taking some losses too, right? So, but like guys like Jeff Bezos have lost a lot of money, right, on different projects. Guys at Apple, they're getting beaten with their vision. Google thing doesn't work. Even Oculus, I think they spent $60 billion and they're just burning through that, right? So, but what came out of that, the Ray-Bans, which are making money now, right? So,
yeah.
At the end of the day, man, it's just the game. Yeah, you could get upset about all you want, but you go in the game of business, you better be able to handle the losses that come with it and the lessons that come with it. So they're not losses, they're just lessons. It's just what it is.
No,
And
100%.
honestly, like, I fucked up so much, man. I took on too many projects at one time. I tried doing too many things here and there. I lacked focus a billion times when I was like running these businesses, different businesses. I thought I could duplicate success over and over again. I wasn't looking at how the future market and future industry was gonna, pivot, right? Now I look at that. I'm really like right now the world's moving faster than it ever is, with the language modules, AI. Salesforce 50% is done by AI now. Microsoft just laid off 9,000 people. Where's this world going? Soon enough, it's coming. Like jobs are going to be taken from AI. And you could say, oh, this, people have been saying that for 20 years. Like, no, it's happening now, right? You could see every week the world's moving faster than it ever has.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's just business. And when I took those losses, I had to figure out life, and I was like, I want to go into business with no personal guarantees, no partners, no big leases, and I got into real estate.
Yeah.
Which was a blessing.
Yeah, because I was looking into your story. You're sort of like, where's a realtor in the beginning? Like, 27, 20.
Bro, for a long time.
Yeah.
And I love my clients, but real estate, I remember I got, there's stepping stones in different industries, right? So when it comes to real estate, there's the realtor, or you can do property management, which is probably the lower barrier. Then from there, you may flip a house, you may buy some rentals, you may become a builder, you may become a developer, whatever it is. So they're stepping stones. So I made those stepping stones as I went. So the first like 2-3 years, I just focused on sales. I was still involved with other businesses, and then sales, got into my first few flips, then got into a few other things, and just kept building up that way. And tried different things. We have a roofing company in Winnipeg. I have a construction company in Austin now. So different things that are kind of in the same industry that I knew could be profitable. I was able to outmarket the competition. And then at the same time, like, hey, is it scalable, right? And that's the thing, kind of the main thing is, and then do I get my time back, which is really important to me after having a child. Like, I want to get my time back. I don't want to work. Winnipeg, man, I was up at 4:30 working till 11 every day.
Well,
Like the time every single day consistently, like for 2 years.
it's a big
A lot of money, but I have a child. Then actually, I look back at my life. It's funny because I used to just get away. So I'd be like, oh, let's go to Vegas this weekend, go to Mexico or whatever, once every 2-3 months. But there's no way to live that way. Just working all the time.
Yeah.
I love working, but now that I have a child, I kind of want to spend more time with my kid.
Yeah.
How about you? You must be grinding it out.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you're first getting started, a lot of people, you see a lot of the get rich quick. People tell you get into, especially real estate. People tell you you can get your first deal in 30 days, in 60 days. Because I got into real estate, so I know a little bit of that experience. Yeah, Brian, man, you were telling me like, how are you getting these deals? I'm like, man, I'm dropping off flyers. I'm talking to a lot of sellers, but nothing is happening. Then finally, you want to give up in like third month in, but you finally get that one. You're like, okay, it gives you that. You got to keep moving.
It takes kind of build any business. These get rich stuff, it's rare. I've heard stories, I've seen it, but most people have their, the grind in order to do well. And it's a lot has to do with market conditions, saturation of markets as well. And then, it's just what the game is. This whole get rich thing, it just doesn't work. I remember one of my mentors who's actually Winnipeg. He used to tell me, but in your 20s, you learn. In your 30s, you start making a little bit of money. But all your wealth is usually from 40 to 60. That's where you start making the most cash, right? So sometimes it's as easy as buying an asset and holding it for 5 years. And people don't realize how fast. That's where I kind of messed up. Like, I own property now, but what I wish I was, instead of getting into clubs or restaurants, all this other stuff in my 20s, if I just bought property with that money, I'd be chilling 5 years later. And so it's as simple as that, but people want the money. Oh, I need it now. I need it a year. But now, I would say around 35, I'm 40 now, but 33, 34, I started realizing, man, where the hell did 5 years go? Yeah. Then I started buying some property, right? So I just kind of wish I did that earlier. But I think, 20s, you're just trying to live a life. I had a lot of friends, so I was having fun.
Yeah.
Just wanted to live that weird life. But like now I don't look back. I'm like, kind of messed up. Should have just kind of kept more low key and kind of did that, kept buying assets.
Because you transitioned from like a realtor to started owning property. So what would you say is like the best exit strategy? Because I got into wholesaling. That's what I got into.
That's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Right. And so definitely more volatile or more lucrative in America when it comes to wholesaling compared to Canada, which they're trying to like stop. But like wholesaling is an interesting business because you don't need really much money to do it. You can make a little bit of money, and you need to deal with the consistent investors over and over again. So you have to chase new investors, but it's really not scalable. I think flipping is not scalable either. I think there's got to be the money that's what's scalable is owning properties. Now I'm selling a few of my homes here. I don't want to, but I need to free up some cash because I'm taking pounding in Texas. But like, I don't want to, but like, I would have held it forever, and eventually it's paid off. Pass it on to my kids or kid, whatever happens, and then you're cash flowing while the asset continues to go up. Now it's crazy because every market's getting smoked right now except Winnipeg, which is crazy. So you got to look at certain demographics in regards to real estate, and there's a lot of land. There's this line out there: buy land, they're not making it anymore. I think it's a pretty stupid quote. The reason I'm saying it's stupid because there's a lot of land out there, right? And by the time your generation or your kids' generation, that land might still be there. So buying land could be very speculative, and at the same time, you just got to be knowing where to buy your real estate. Location matters big time. Buy a house in Tuxedo compared to buying a house in EK or Elmwood, right? So it really varies, and sometimes I catch it, sometimes I don't. I had a feeling Headingley was going to blow up. I didn't make a move there. I should have. I had a feeling Niverville was going to blow up. I didn't make a move there. I should have. Steinbach. So I missed the opportunities too, right? Sometimes I do get the wins where I called it right. But like, that's the game. Is just real estate wholesaling is a good way to get into it. If I was wholesaling, I'd probably transition to sales though.
Yeah.
If you could wholesale, you could do a lot of other stuff.
But you got a very interesting take because I've had so many mentors. I've read so many different books, and everybody's telling you to wholesale flip, and you know what I mean?
You know what? The interesting thing about real estate is this is I try to explain this to my parents because I'm renting right now in Austin.
Yeah,
it's funny. I was renting here and I owned a bunch of rentals, but I was renting a place in Bridgewater. And our parents, they grew up, there's a time for everything, every type of asset, right? At one point, you could buy the Dow or the S&P like Warren Buffett did and milk it. And real estate was another thing where it popped off. But real estate ain't the same real estate when our parents grew up. Now, you gotta understand, like, let's just say you buy a house for $400,000. It's your own primary house, okay? And then 5 years later, it goes up to $600,000. You're paying that mortgage, but then you're paying the interest on that mortgage, then maintenance, then property taxes, especially in Manitoba where the property taxes are a little bit high. So is there really that much of a good asset, like ROI on it? And the guys that are in real estate will tell, oh, it's a great buyer. Yeah, it's good to own rental properties. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it is, but there's other ways. If someone told me, hey, I have 300 grand, and this is the thing, it's like either you know how to grow it or you don't, right? Someone's like, I have 300 grand. I want to invest in real estate. I want to buy rentals. Like, okay, yeah, cool, that's safe. If I had 300 grand, like, just give me that. I'm going to turn that into 3 million, right? So it's kind of like, do you have the skill set to do so? Otherwise, to reach $100 million in real estate, it's actually a pretty goal that anyone can actually do. It might take 30 years, but buying property at the right time, buying distressed property, fixing it up, refinancing it, and continue to do that every 3-4 years, the bank loves you for it because you're paying them that juice. And at the same time, they're going to keep lending you money. You keep on getting property. And over 5-10 years now, this property is finally cash flowing. But if you buy a property today and think you're going to make money, you're not. You're going to lose money for the first 5 years.
Yeah.
And, with property taxes, with maintenance, with tenants, etc., you can't go in, I'm just going to, no, you better have a little bit of cash on the side for things that come up. So is real estate a good investment? 100% it is. Is it as good as it once was? I definitely do not think so. I think at the end of the day, people aren't having kids like they used to. Population isn't decreasing, but it's just not exploding. And I think location does matter. So you can play it right and make a lot of money depending on what market, right? But yeah, some markets just don't make sense, man.
Okay. Now, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of gurus out there who are telling you to buy these houses, get you a duplex.
Just like the stock market, man. You should talk the stock market too. But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta look at both sides. I feel like I've read every real estate book out there. I'd say, buy rental, buy rich dad, poor dad, which is probably the goat of all books. I agree with it. Don't get me wrong. It could be a good investment, but it's all depend what you're buying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The profit is in the buy. So depending on what asset you're buying, what type of real estate you're buying, that's where it is. It's not just buy any real estate, right? And I feel like, I think people, you're right, the gurus, it happened during COVID where
Yeah.
you had all these guys come out and I was listening to this shit and I could tell you a bunch of them that I'm like, no, that won't work. Or that, it might work, it might not, but a lot of things are, they're selling a course. I'm not here to sell you a fucking course, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you're making that much money, you wouldn't be selling a course, right? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of information out there, especially nowadays. I know you're also in the media space as well too. But so do you think that for someone who still wants to get into real estate, there is still because the long term game is still 10 years ahead?
I think so. I think you got to think of that with any business, but real estate for sure, just always think 5 to 10 years holding an asset. Now, if you want to get in that flip, try to make a few money, I think the margins, you got to make sure the margins are there because there's too much risk. So the problem is the risk reward, right? So if I want to invest this much money, cash, and a lot of cash is going to be tied up into this thing, time. That's another thing you got to take in perspective, especially on the flip. How fast? So with my team, when we flip houses, how fast can we get in and out? Right. So that's important for us, and how much we're going to make on it. It's just got to be worth your while, right? So if you're going to make 20, 30K off a flip, I probably wouldn't touch it, right? I used to touch those in Winnipeg. No chance anymore. I'd touch it. I'd rather just wholesale and make 10 doing nothing.
Yeah, I've also seen some of your content where you've done like you made like 40K off a flip in Texas. So tell us a little bit of.
I made 40 recently, 40 American. That's not that good though. I lost like 60 on my last one though.
Okay.
I had a partner, so I only lost to.
So tell me the Texas real estate market, because it is USA.
I'm getting pounded there. So what happened? I just timed it wrong. I thought I was coming. First of all, Austin and Seattle were the hottest markets during COVID. Everyone from LA moved to Austin, and it kind of exploded. You had Elon, all these companies going, and then I missed the boom. I got there like 3 years ago, and it was just coming down, and I thought I timed it pretty well. Got my green card, and then I thought I timed it, but I didn't. Market kept dipping, and that's because of one, high interest rates, and also has its own problems of being overdeveloped. So all the guys came in, started building because they thought people would keep moving in. People are still coming in daily, but it's not what it used to be. So, I just timed it wrong. Bought the properties at a very good price. Had some issues with design, but overall, it's just timing. And then, you see the hits, man. So, I might have made 40. It was 40. It was like 45 on that one. But 45 USD. So, it's I wish I was kind of living in Canada, making that type of money in America, right? But
you primarily focus on helping people, like as a realtor.
I'm not doing much sales too. I have a few listings right now and stuff to help some guys. I have a buyer right now, but I'm not focusing on. When I had a child, I'm like, I can't do real estate. I can't do sales anymore. So I have the construction stuff. Trying to get out of some of these houses. I'll get more into info. I finished a house for someone. I built a house for him. On Tuesday, my partner's going. We're trying to build another house for a client. So trying to go more on the retail side. So that's the thing with real estate. And luckily in Winnipeg, you don't have to worry about that. But when the market's down, you got to make the right pivots where the money's at, right? Right now, I see a few things happening. Like I see the multifamily coming up here, and it reminds me of the condo boom like 15 years ago. Where I'm like, who's all going to move into these places, right? Immigration has cut down in Canada completely, or not completely, but extensively. So hopefully these places get filled up, right? But at the end of the day, maybe more people are moving from Toronto or something here. I don't know. I haven't been really paying attention to the Winnipeg growth story right now, but we don't know. So
you think multifamily? Because I know Grant Cardone talks a lot about multifamily.
Grant's got a lot of stuff.
The guy got a lot of going.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a lot of, because there is more people coming in, right? Do you think
where are they coming in from?
From different places, India? You know what I mean?
I thought they slowly cut it. I don't know. I know, you tell me, but straight up, I can't really talk about Winnipeg. Like, I'm still doing some stuff here.
Yeah.
But from what I heard, they really slowed down immigration. But if they are still coming in, that's who you're kind of banking on, right? So, because Canada was built on immigration, but it was ruined by immigration. And a lot of people, like, they worked the system. At the end of the day, I would have done the same. And I remember when my parents came here when they were 16, man, from Pakistan, and we had to adapt to Canadian culture. People don't adapt to Canadian; they just come here because their family's all here. They don't need to learn English. They don't need to learn shit, right? So it's a very different Canada for immigrants now, right? Then you understand there's no jobs out there. I'm seeing it with my own friends and people in Toronto. Like, people are having difficult times getting jobs, getting money now, right? So I don't know, man. Then you have the tariffs that Trump's,
Yeah.
playing chess with you guys right now, and it's not good for Canada. It's good for America. It's
Yeah.
terrible for Canada,
The
right?
guy's all USA now, man. No more Canadian.
Yeah, well, I look after Canada because I still have stuff here. I feel bad for Canada, actually, in this case. I wish he wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
I know at the end of the day, it's like tariffs. I see one, he's playing poker, bro. If you read his book, The Art of the Deal, you'll know exactly how he negotiates.
Yeah.
Man, he's playing. It's the same game he's playing that he did in real estate.
He's a master at negotiating. But bro, let's get into a little bit of stock chart.
Cool.
I'm a big fan of stock charts
Awesome. Thanks.
because before we connected, I've been following. I'm like, this dude owns stock. Because then I started seeing the videos. I'm like, crazy. Tell me a little bit how that
One
started,
thing with
man.
stock charts is I've had it for a while. I never talked about it because I didn't want people in Winnipeg knowing that I'm doing other stuff. I just rather be the real stick. I've been in this situation before when you're doing too much stuff. They're like, he's too busy with other stuff. I don't want to use him or whatever the case was. So I never really told anyone about it. We just kind of built it up by fluke, which I'll go into, and then all of a sudden we're in the news during COVID and stuff like Bloomberg, CNBC, stuff like that, Fox News, and then I'm like, I guess the story's out, right? But originally, what happened was my partner, he just knew about the stock market, and I was trying to learn it. I'm like, I just teach him the stock market, and randomly, this was before marijuana in Canada became legal. We were just posting what stocks we were watching. It was like Tilray. I couldn't even remember the names. Aurora Cannabis. There's a few other ones. We were just posting what we were watching, and then all of a sudden it caught fire. And we're really early, I guess, compared to everybody. I don't think CNBC even had an Instagram page, and it just caught on quick. And then we were pretty amateur with our stuff, man. Really amateur graphics, whatever. People are like, we want to learn the stock market. Well, my partner could teach you. Started charging 200 American, and then it grew pretty fast. And then what happened was Wall Street bets came around. A lot of guys left, went to Reddit for free. And then I was so busy with real estate, I wasn't really too focused on it. And my partner was kind of running it for about 2 years himself. He did a pretty good job keeping the company alive, I must say. And things were going okay. And then about 6 months ago, I'm like, real estate market's getting pounded. Let me audit the company and see where we could fix things. And then 6 months ago, I'm like, I think we can get this going. And so now I'm building relationships, definitely got better content, got my face on most of that stuff now. He's still taking care of the members and stuff. And then he works on the media deals, which we're trying to focus on right now. I love stock shares. The reason being is I gotta just talk to people and like business guys, like guys that went public, like CEOs and stuff. Like, it's just cool. I was like, dude, I'm a student. I'm a student in America in general. There's like this young kids that are much smarter than me. And so it's like, it's definitely different America and Canada when it comes to business, right? So yeah, man, it's just it's fun it's like no pressure sales. Real estate, I feel like there's pressure. You get a listing, you better sell that listing, right? You gotta buy, you gotta show all these houses. This is like, this is what we have. You heard of us? Yeah. You guys want to do some business here? Sure. Nah, not right now, but we'll stay in touch. This is so cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I love the stock market because that's how I started my journey too, bro. Like during the pandemic, and like you're right, bro. It's just like there's so many people out there who are also in different communities. So I was able to get
There's a lot of communities.
There's a lot of different communities, but stocks is like because you're looking at the market scene. Because you're also seeing the worldwide view as well too. I started reading Ray Dalio.
I'm one of my favorites.
You become a student, I think. So tell me, bro, like, what do you think the stock market has transitioned from like, meme stocks now is more of a fundamental, right?
You know what? The thing is, I would probably go the other way around. It's stock market's kind of like real estate. A lot has to do with emotions.
Oh, okay.
Even us, we were teaching, we realized, we don't want to teach anymore. Let's just charge the premium $100 a month for people that traded stocks, that are trading stocks, that like swing trades and long terms. No day tradings, no penny stocks, no biotech companies, which we blew up accounts with that before. And so it's a very niche market. No option trading. We used to have an options group. We don't do that anymore. And that's a big market, but like, nah, just cut it off. We want the real professional guys that are cool with paying $100 to get some really good research. That's it. So in regards to like market trends, I was the guy that was like hating on Wall Street bets and Reddit until I went on, and I was like, man, some of these guys are actually brilliant. So now you have Perplexity that's battling Bloomberg. And like I use that every day to kind of take a look. That's my favorite AI is Perplexity compared to ChatGPT. I like Grok too, but Perplexity has been the best when it comes to finance stuff.
Mhm.
So the thing is, it's like I think that what history repeats itself no matter what.
Yes.
So that meme thing's gonna come back. The crypto crap you're gonna see is gonna come back. NFT is not sure, but like there's always going to be the people that fuel the market based on emotions, based on trends, based on whatever the case is, virality. So it's going to come back. It's going to happen. I tell AMC take. It's just what it is. You could call it micro strategy, kind of a meme stock.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just buying Bitcoin and it moves with Bitcoin, but it is what it is. I think fundamentals. I don't know about fundamentals. Palantir is not fundamental.
Yeah,
It's like crazy market cap right now. I sold that at 30, 35, right? Wish I held it. But fundamentally, some of this stuff isn't there.
Yeah.
Tesla's not fundamentals. And I'm a big fan of Elon, not Tesla, but I bet robo taxis is a logistics heaven for the guy. So, but I think fundamentals are out the window. Like a lot of stuff, the videos you see on Stock Sharks, I talk about some fundamental stuff, but they don't really move as much as they used to, man.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people too, especially during the pandemic, you had Dogecoin, you had GME. For me, Dogecoin was one of my biggest winners. You know what I mean? I think I put in less than 1,000, and then I think it ran to like 50, some crazy numbers. But I know one for you was Palantir. You told me you bought a Lamborghini off Palantir. Is that a true story?
Yeah. I put like 100 racks into Palantir an IPO day.
Wow.
And then I went down big time, and then it went up, and then sold it, rebought back, which I'd never trade, but I'm like, let me just sell it. Just got it 3 months later. I got to paid up my other car, just bought that, and then paid some taxes, and then did it again. I bought back, and I sold. Oh, I sold like last year.
That way, right? That was the boom. It went crazy.
No, I sold before that. I sold that again. I sold that around 30, 35. It's not worth $140 a stock or share right now. But who knows where that thing's going though. So, but yeah, it's just like it was a company I was watching when it was private, and then Peter Thiel was behind it too. Alex Karp is no dumbass. So, yeah, I was looking at that, and then way before, there's a few other companies we were able to buy some stocks shares before they went public too. On some companies, like we had SpaceX at a 75 billion valuation. We had Admiral at a $2 billion valuation, which is worth like 8 billion now, not on the market. We had DoorDash before it went on the market. So we have people in the States that give us that opportunity.
Bro, tell me, how do you get into that kind of buying stocks before yeah.
There's companies that represent those companies pretty much when it comes to getting capital. They're accredited investors, so but a lot of my guys got lucky too. A lot of my stock shares guys give them that opportunity too. So they're out there. They're out there.
That's good, man. I know like a lot of the big guys, what they do, man, especially Tony Robbins and all those big investors.
Yeah.
Essentially, they're just making money.
Well, there's a series. It could go series A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever it is. So during that time is where you're trying to. The earlier you are, the better. But like I said, like 8 out of 10 will fail, right? So especially in the valley where a lot of businesses fail, so you're gonna fail. There's a really good book by Jason Calacanis is called Angel. It's about venture investing. He actually hosts the All In podcast every Friday, which I listen to pretty religiously. But that's a really good book if you're trying to get into venture capital. But there's so much risk to it, man. So much risk. So sometimes you get lucky, but yeah, you're trying to you're gonna lose on 9, and then at 1 you'll hit type of industry.
Yeah, because SpaceX is pretty big. I think Elon is a big guy to bet on, but he's kept me vision, bro. So
yeah, that's I think he's raising for I think he just put a crazy valuation on XAI with Grok that just came out. He's got the Boring Company. He's got a lot of stuff going on. SpaceX is obviously his main one. Starlink is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would never bet against Elon.
I feel like you go deep into this research.
Yeah, my partner is really good. So I'm not the stock market guy. I'm more of the marketer and the guy in front of it. But my partner is the stock market too. So his name's JR, and he just knows his stuff. He's been breeding this stuff since he was 15, 16. But yeah, man, we've taken our hits in that game too, right?
So do you think that people, because a lot of times, because option market, that's kind of how I got into it.
Gambling.
Yeah, I think earlier, one time you told me that options is like flipping houses, kind of.
Yeah. Like trading in general is not 5% is successful. So that's why we don't want to teach it. So we were teaching the stock market originally. And I was like, let's get out of this. It's not, there's the success rate's too low. Let's find the right people that enjoy the game, that are already doing it. But we didn't want to teach it, because I feel like, what am I teaching you? You're gonna lose your money. I don't want to be that guy, right? I don't want to be the guy that's gonna be like, here, you gave me, you know, $200 a month USD and for 10 months, and now you lost a bunch of money in the stock market. It's like flipping houses. I would never. People will come to me for advice or whatever, and I'll comp it out or whatever I have to do. But I don't want to teach someone how to flip houses, because it's like, oh, dude, I'm not in the game of teaching you. Like, you want to do it, you probably lose on the first couple, but then you'll make money, you'll figure it out. But like I said, I don't find it a scalable business. I could be wrong. A lot of guys are probably watching, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, but it's working for you. But the normal person, it's not going to work for, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I'm someone who lost a lot of money trading options. I'm talking about like close to 100. You know what I mean? So, because I've made like money off, I've made money off the meme stuff, and then I put that into options. So that's kind of how everything kind of transitioned.
The game.
You know what I mean? That's kind of how you lose. So I
lost a lot of money in the stock.
yeah. So I think the long term stuff, 100%. Because if I had to look back at it now, because the way the market went was Powell started dumping all that money, started printing the money. So what happens? A lot of traders came in, everybody got money,
and also everyone is at home. You can't bet on sports anymore. So where are you going to go? You're going to go to the stock market, right?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, people are gamblers. Right?
Yeah. So what happened is that everybody got the money, because I was, you know what I mean, I had my own money, but I was trading with the money, and then you put it back into the market, so now everybody lost money. So that Powell is sort of, inflation went up high. So what do you think? Because I know you had a video about Powell, how the guy is like the bad guy in all of this, but he's actually like
Trump was the one actually who hired him originally in his first term. People don't know that, but Trump was the one that brought him in. So the problem is, he didn't know how the tariffs were going to go. And so he would have lowered rates by now. Everyone kind of knew it was going, but he kept the rates high, way too high for too long right now. He'll be out next year based on his resignation, or he might leave early, right? But his term's up next year. I don't know. I don't think lower rates is, unless you can't. There was only one time where you go like 1 full point. It was during COVID. So I see gradually lower rates. It's not going to make a huge impact right away. And then you got to understand the reason why Trump wants lower rates is because they pay debt. They pay interest on that debt that they owe, right?
Yeah.
So what is it, 37 trillion or something now? It's crazy. But so yeah, at the end of the day, we'll see kind of what happens with all that. But I don't think it's going to make stock markets higher than it's ever been right now. We'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Real estate's getting pounded.
You know, they say the money printer go bird on pop. Because
I don't know that. It's funny because you talk about this big beautiful bill. Like, it's just some good in it, right? And just like, it's pretty much you're banking on Trump bringing enough money into the country and the economy going for him to not worry about this debt. And maybe he could do it, maybe he can't. It's too early to tell, right? We'll see. We'll just see what happens. And then the markets itself are really interesting right now. It's really hard to navigate, man, because you just don't know when this guy's going to do something on True Social or tweet or whatever he needs to do, and then markets sink, right? So
yeah,
it's really hard to navigate.
Yeah,
that's why it's really hard to be a trader right now.
How bad do you think the tariffs is? Because the market right now,
tariffs are great for America. I think they just had a surplus in the billions, first time since 2017. So good for America, I guess. Like I said, it helps America. It doesn't really help anyone else.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of news out there. It's like, you can't believe the news, but like I said, like, you kind of have to let this guy do his term and see what happens with it. But it might work. All this stuff might work, might not. I'm kind of more worried about small businesses because they can't navigate either with all these tariffs.
Yeah, Dale. Sorry, but welcome to Winnipeg.
I get them there too.
Yeah. But to tell me, Sheraz, too, I'm looking at the fear and greed index right now. Greed is like all-time high.
Everyone in the stock market.
The stock market. I'm looking at the fear and greed, and I'm seeing, because the market is at all-time highs, right? How do you think the trend? Because we've seen.
So you gotta look at the market in different ways. You got the Magnificent Seven. So it's like, are they carrying the stock market? Could be. Nvidia could be carrying the whole market right now at this point. It's hard to say. I think you gotta go by industry right now, man. And then I think there's still opportunity in any market, including real estate. Even though a lot of guys are getting killed right now, there's opportunity somewhere there. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's we'll just see, man. Markets continue. A lot of people know this. Like, if I was 18 right now and I wanted to become wealthy and I was working a regular job, this is what I would do. Like, this is like, hey, I want to put money away. If you have the means to put $2,000 a month into the S&P 500, like the SPY or the Vanguard, and you get that 7 to 9% compound interest per year, by 36, 37, or 40, whatever it is, you got millions in the bank after that. Now, putting $2,000 a month is very hard to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, well, yeah, I'm just going to make that type of money. How do I put that with paying rent, this living, whatever the case is? But if you were able to, and if you didn't do 2,000, say do 1,000, that's what I would do for 16 years. Normal person, anyone could do it. And by 40, you're chilling.
Yeah.
By 60, you're really chilling. But like, people don't want to wait that long game. It's like buying real estate. If you have somehow were able to have the means of stacking 40K and end up buying a house for, I don't know if you can get a house for 200K anymore, but buy a house and then waiting 5 years and doing it again with the money you have, equity in there, and doing it again, by the time you're 40, you're chilling. It's just, who wants to wait the 18 to 20 years, right?
Yeah. No, I'm 100% with you because a lot of people do want to get into the market. And like I told you earlier, trading really humbled me. So yeah, I think the investing route is because it gives you that sort of guarantee 7%, 8%. And I would also add on to that, like develop a skill set. Whether it's right now, see there's a lot of copywriting. You can become a content creator. Yeah. It's much harder, but if you're creative, you can actually get paid.
I agree. In the business end, it's like you have to have a strong skill set. So the skill set is like mine would probably, I suck at a lot. I suck at more things that I'm good at, but I would say marketing is my skill set, right? Communications with people, or communicating with people, building relationships is strong, but marketing is like, hey, I started a roofing company when I was in Texas, in Winnipeg. And the reason is because I learned from the companies there what they were doing, and you didn't notice that nobody was doing it here. So I called up my boy and I was like, hey, let's start a roofing company because there's an opportunity here. Boom, on. Right? So it's just learning from other countries or learning from other states or whatever, other people, and then putting it into a different business, man. Yeah, like I said, that's how I kind of like filled my way through all this, right? Because okay, this is where I screwed up, but this strategy of marketing would work on this one, right? And I'm doing some crazy shit with stock strips right now, testing it out. Hopefully it'll work. I'll know in about 13 days or not. But like, so trying to kind of continue to figure out these growth hacks. But right now, like building on, right now building up, sorry, I put on silent, my bad. But right now building on like these large language models is probably the play I would be doing. Learning about, okay, how do I take this, this API and put it towards this industry, right? You could do that. Like I saw guys do a law assistants. I've seen guys do dentistry. I've seen guys do a branding company, now restaurants. I see guys jumping on the trend really quick.
So you're saying using ChatGPT in a sort of
in a niche,
feeding it the algorithm to sort of become, like they say, for example, you want to become a content creator, you want to become whatever it is, giving it the algorithm to be able to sort of push.
Not only that, like I would say more so. Best example is Facebook came, and then you had like Farmville and Candy Crush that were built on like these walls people were playing on Facebook, right? And all of a sudden they became, I think Candy Crush was making $1 million a day at one point. This is really early on, so you have the chat GPT, then you need, what businesses is you're helping a need, right? So right now, best example, there isn't many lawyer assistants out there right now, right? So lawyer assistants do pretty much easy paperwork type of shit, right? So building that language model that on one of these apps that can do the stuff this legal assistant can do. And when you figure out, let's say per province or per state, okay, I know the laws, I know the paperwork, I've fed it into ChatGPT, it's now able to spit it out, then building your own API using ChatGPT's back. And that's what all these companies are doing now.
Yeah.
They're using, it's kind of like the cloud. You had Amazon Web Services, you had Apple, you had Google Cloud. They all built on this, right? So right now, that's where it's going. And I see guys, and in Texas especially, I see guys building out businesses on these things every day and then selling it to that industry or that niche.
Technology is like super advanced nowadays, bro.
It's moving so fast, man. Like every week, I'm like trying to keep up, and I'm like, and it's not my game, I don't think I have that creative background to do it. I like copying people, but I'm not into that. Like I couldn't tell you which angle, but you need a product that you can sell at a SaaS product, like subscription-based product, and then hit that industry and then continue to sell it to different people.
So is that where you're sort of transitioning into more of the stock charts? You're trying to make it more of the community,
stock charts. I feel like stock charts is getting to more in the media. I feel like now you could, like, yeah, our research is good, but you could probably get good research on any of these apps, including Perplexity or ChatGPT. The money's in media. We have the following, right? So companies need to advertise. People ain't watching TV anymore. I don't even remember the last time I watched TV. Okay,
100%.
I have a new house. I don't even have a TV in it, right? So, yeah, I don't watch TV, but I am on the screen. I'm on the computer on my phone. But who's watching legacy news? Why did Trump win?
Yeah.
He was on long form. People were able to feel him out on Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman or whatever the hell he was on, right? So, yeah, people ain't watching TV anymore.
Exactly. And then you got
Besides live sports,
then you got Elon also putting him on X, right? Putting distribution.
this is awesome. Man.
Yeah.
This is like I'm on X and like I learned like I that's probably my favorite social media.
Crazy. Bro, tell me about Bitcoin because I know you got into a little bit of that too, no?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 'Cause
Those stuff. Yeah, no, I'll be like you. I gamble and I got a story about Shib Uno. I remember looking for the next Doge. I put 2K into Shib Uno.
Yeah, that's the one.
And then I closed it when I was down, like, I think I was down 1200. I'll just take my $800. If I held that, I would be up a couple billion. But no, I don't really have too much stuff on Bitcoin and stuff. I watch it. I think it's just basic supply and demand when it comes to the economics of it. It's a very interesting product for sure. It's like, I don't think it'll be a currency, but I think it's like digital gold.
You know, Charlie Munger says crypto is worthless.
He's so old.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The majority of crypto is worthless, but I wouldn't. It's funny, back in the day, I was like so in denial of Bitcoin. I was like, oh, blockchain's the real technology, whatever. Till I read the book, The Bitcoin Standard. When I read that book, I kind of understood, oh man, this is actually what it's just basic supply and demand. There's 21 million and that's it, right? So it's kind of like I compare it to gold. So if you understand gold, and then if you understand money and the history of money, you kind of understand where the value of this commodity is. But I wouldn't call it's more of a digital asset than a cryptocurrency.
Yeah. And I think too, if you want to like really look at the crypto industry, I think you're looking at the small ones. Like I like Cardano, I like Ethereum.
It's just gambling at the point, right?
I mean, that's why I made a lot of money, right? So this small, because Bitcoin, I mean, it is at 100 now, but like I think during the pandemic, it was those smaller coins because once Bitcoin started moving, Ethereum, everything sort of started falling.
Yeah, like I said, I have a bunch of shit coins, and I hope they go up one day. Like I bought a bunch of Trump coin. I don't know, probably down.
But XRP is a good use case though. XRP, I'm hearing it.
Honestly, I can't talk about it because I actually don't know much about crypto. Yeah, I really don't. And like I read the Bitcoin Standard, and I know a little bit about just the supply of Bitcoin, but I wouldn't say I'm a big player in Bitcoin or anything. I like it. Like if someone asked me what I would buy right now, I'd probably like based on the administration, I'd probably be like, Bitcoin seems like a pretty good purchase based on what he's doing with crypto, right? But or any other crypto, I would say it might be a good investment. You know, it might be worth looking at, but that's just based on the administration.
Yeah,
I think if you hold Bitcoin for 20 years, I'm sure it'll be fine. You know,
100%.
It was a
I
volatility.
think Michael Saylor got a lot of Bitcoin. I think he's kind of the biggest player.
Wild.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But the thing, even on I follow him on X, I'm like, dude, it's just very like like putting AI stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. But you know the story about how he's buying Bitcoin, how he's using with stocks and how he's kind of moving the market. You've heard? What do you think?
Well, I know how he's issuing debt to buy Bitcoin.
That comes in. Yeah.
Really risky, but I don't know. Honestly, like based on the administration, and maybe he's playing it right. Like I asked, if the president's coming in here and saying I'm going to be the first crypto president, I probably would have been buying Bitcoin. If I had liquid cash, I'd probably be buying some Bitcoin and stuff right now, right? But like, yeah, I'd be like, well, writing's on the wall for the next 3-4 years. If this guy's that pro crypto and he's got his hands on different things, crypto, I think he's coming out with his own ETF. I don't know, man.
Yeah. You guys very interested. Yeah. So Shiraz, earlier you were mentioning about you being a father. How has that transition been like? Because
It's been awesome, man.
yeah. So you sort of stopped. You're like, you know what? Let me forget the realtor. Let me go.
I didn't want to be a realtor because I want to spend time with my daughter.
Well,
And like you could probably put the systems in place, but I really, as much as people, I didn't like being a realtor. I was just good at it. I love people. Don't get me wrong. I like absolutely love people, learning from people, meeting people. But I absolutely hated the job opening houses in -40 weather in Winnipeg.
well,
Showing houses, this and that. I enjoyed the marketing side, so more listings and stuff. But loved meeting people. I used it to leverage people and meet people and leverage them into other stuff. But like, I wasn't. I hated being a realtor. I told my clients that too, but they knew I was honest, so they started out.
Yeah.
I knew a lot about houses too. That's the thing. It's like even today, I feel like I read and learned about houses, built my own houses, did this, that, where I knew a lot about homes. And I still today tell you, like, you don't need a home. Yeah, I'll tell you to go get a home inspection, but I could tell you everything the home inspector is going to say, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, I was very good at what I did, right? Because I was so into it, but not like I enjoy houses, right?
Yeah, and most people don't really have the people skills because I think I've dealt with a lot of realtors, and man, a lot of them are like they're trying to make that dollar, which I understand that's the business, but there's really no like relationship. Really,
I was also expensive. I was an expensive realtor too.
Yeah,
my guys would pay it because I'm like, yeah, don't worry, like this is where you're gonna get the honesty. From me. So like I wasn't the cheapest realtor. That's why I never got the 3% commissions. I was just like, nah, man, like this is what it's gonna be. If you don't like it, no problem. I wish you all the best. Find a cheaper realtor. It's not for me. But it's so funny, man. I have friends use other realtors because I was trying to then call me. Can you look after this offer? I'm like, yeah, just email it to me. I'll look at it before it's so man, today I still get calls about realtor. I got a lead today or yesterday. One close friends like, can you sell this thing? I'll get one of my boys to sell it. No problem. Right? So, yeah, it's cool. Referral business. Every client turned me into a friend, right? So just like this, we met and then so yo, you're cool. Yeah, okay, we're vibing. Okay, we're boys now. You know, it's just like one of those things where it's just like I never treated my clients like clients. I remember the first time I'd wear like nice clothes and second time to come in a hoodie. You know, it's like, yo, we're comfortable. You know, like so that's the way it should be. I think any business, you build the relationships, you like the people you deal with, and you make other shit happen. Right. I think a lot of realtors can't make other shit. They're very black and white. I just want to sell this stuff, make my commission. That's it. I was like, all right, let's make some moves here. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's say there's an opportunity you want to get on. You want to get on this opportunity. I got this. So it was just like relationship building, making money with each other.
Yeah, 100%, man. So having a daughter is sort of made you sort of kick back on because a lot of time we people do chase the money because the money is like the buyer product.
I don't care about money.
Yeah.
I used to care about it. I feel like I care more about I think I had an ego when I lived in Winnipeg, but not anymore. I had a child. I don't give a fuck what anyone says about or think of me anymore.
Yeah.
I used to care, and I think that was my issue. But after having a daughter, my life ain't for me, man. My life's for my daughter. So as long as I could prolong my life as much as I can, stay healthy, go to the gym, make a little bit of money, feed my daughter, give her the best education I can, she'll find her own way, man. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just here to spend time because life is short, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I'm 40 now, man. So it's like, that's it, man. Just spend time with my kid.
You know, I can learn a lot.
Hopefully another one later. But once you have a kid, everything changes. Yeah, man. Those days of Lambos and shit like that. Fuck about it. I go, that's. Do you like that new Escalade? Don't like that. I was eyeing it the other day. And like, baby, tell me what think of you want to buy this Escalade. That's what I do. Her said she's all for it. So she's like, no, I buy it. I'm like, nah, I don't need it. Cool with my Honda.
But you know, in business, they call perception manager. You know, when you pull up with a Mercedes, you pull up with a nice. People think that like I think Alex Ramosi had this.
You know, the thing with
Ramosi had this story where he was building the gym launch and he pulled up in like just a regular T-shirt with his car window being broken. He just came to, and I think he had like a bunch of members inside, and one of the members came. She's like, "This is your car? I thought you were successful, but it's all a perception." Now he's
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's got.
Well, I think the Lamb was overdoing it. To be honest, I think then you're just a douchebag, which a lot of people. So the thing with Winnipeg, if you didn't know me, and like most people like kind of know me or have friends that know, I've had the same friends since I was a kid. They'll be like, Sheraz isn't a douchebag, but if someone saw me, didn't know me, he's like, that guy's douchebag, right? So like, it's one of those things. I think I don't know. At the end of the day, referrals is referrals, and then if you're meeting a cold lead, I think it's mostly communication. I think at that point, I don't think is what you're driving. Don't think you should have a beat up car. I think, you know, I drive a Honda Accord. I roll up in meetings and that's fine, right? It's not like rusted or anything like that, right? So, but I don't think you need like the fancy stuff, right? Like, so I bought a Lambo because I was wanting a Lambo since I was a kid. It was on my poster. I'm like, one day I'm going to buy that car, like in my room in King, so I bought it. And then bro, 4 weeks in, I didn't care about it anymore. Like, I could care. And I made money on it when I sold it because like just good timing. Should have bought 10 of them. But like, at the end of the day, I just bought it because I wanted it myself. Yeah. It wasn't for anybody else. I like cars now. I'm like, yeah, the phase is over. I don't care for it anymore. So I think that goes in any entrepreneur, business person, or anybody in general that have a goal in their life that they want, whether it's a Lambo or a big house. I have a friend who loves like designer clothing. Like Dolce, Versace, Armani. That's his thing. That's just, and yo, man, that's your thing. Do it. My brother still loves cars. He's much older than me, and he's like loves it. He just keeps buying cars. I'm like, yeah, it's your thing.
Yeah.
My other boy, he loves like cards and shit, like collectibles. Loves it. I have another boy that likes comics. You know, I got another boy that's like they're just in shoes. One of my boys, bro, he's got like 200 pairs of shoes, and he explains like the shoe game. I guess it's a thing, right? So everyone has their thing that they like spending money on, and you should do it if it makes you happy. Do it, right? For me, it was a timing. Now, well, I don't really care about spending money. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost much to travel. This
No,
and that.
I think too also because you're like you said you're 40, so it gives you that sort of different perspective. When you were younger,
Yeah, at 30, it was like I said, it's more ego, right?
yeah, yeah,
But it's just a goal of mine. If I got it at 20, 30, or 40, or 60, or 80, I probably would have bought it sometime.
Yeah.
For a little short period of time at least. But it was never like, yeah, I couldn't tell you. It never made me any happier. To be honest, it kind of sucked because I couldn't drive it anymore because the roads were all fucked.
or maybe you should have put that into Bitcoin.
Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have did that. But at the end of the day, bro, it's kind of funny because it's like, it's whatever your high is,
Yes, yeah.
you should enjoy it. This life is short, man. So enjoy whatever you need to do, man. Right. So I have friends that are still doing crazy shit. They're older than me and they love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. So
No, 100%. So what do you see the future kind of looking like for you? Because I know you're also in Texas and Austin, right? Winnipeg market, as you talked about earlier, it's shifting. I like your perspective that everything is sort of people think everything is kind of all good, but your perspective is completely different.
so Winnipeg's a good market. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's not a good. I think multifamily is kind of scary right now with how many units are going up. That's it. But I think Winnipeg homes is pretty good. I think perspective has changed a lot from going to America. One, what I learned was Canada's like college and America's like the pros. Okay. But socialism versus capitalism. So whatever, and you have 350 million versus 40 million people. Texas alone has 30 million people. So Texas's GDP is bigger than Canada's. So you got to understand, like, when you're looking in a business perspective, I'm not here to hate on this is home, my family. Winnipeg, let me tell you, like, this is the thing, it might get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm from Winnipeg, so I could talk shit about it, right? It's when other people talk shit about Winnipeg, we don't like.
Yeah, yeah.
But there are pros about Winnipeg that other cities don't have. Winnipeg, you and your wife could make a little bit of money, buy a house, go on vacation once a year, have 2 kids, send them in public school, whatever the case is, live a really pretty good life with jobs, okay? You can't do that in Toronto. You can't do that in Vancouver. Calgary's getting tougher now too, right? So is that ability to have that in Winnipeg. But when it comes, and that's why your pod is mostly for business people. When it comes to business and capitalism, Canada ain't it. And it's not in Winnipeg. It's Canada's small businesses are suffering. I can tell every day. But Canada isn't a capitalistic country. It's socialistic. So what happens is you can't compete, right? Like the smartest people in America are 10 times smarter than people in Canada. And don't hate me for saying that, but that's just really what the truth. The talent goes to America, right? And they recruit heavy when it comes to this, whether H-1 visas, whatever, they recruit the best and they continue to do so. And then it's just very business oriented, right? So it's just the opportunities are there no matter what business you start. And I caught real estate at the wrong time. That's just a timing thing. But my other businesses there, it's very easy to break into business there. Then you have people with money, right? You just have more rich people there, right? Canada is really tough to kind of grow. And I realized that as a small business owner here, it's very tough to grow. Real estate's been a blessing in Winnipeg, but there are caps. There's only a certain amount of houses you can sell. There's only a certain amount of things. There's only a certain amount of roofs I could build with 5 months of summer or whatever the case is. So they're 2 different countries, and it's just depending on you as a person. People want to stay in Winnipeg for family and friends. That's all the reason you need to stay in Winnipeg. But if you're trying to get to another level, you better change your environment. And Toronto ain't it either. Because trust me, I met a lot of people in Toronto, and it's not it. So you can make money here, but I think in Canada there's a certain cap. And it depends on your goals, what you're trying. You're trying to make 100K, you're trying to make millions, whatever the case is, right? There is a cap.
So capitalist versus socialist. I never. That's
like you could say stuff's happening in America in some certain cities where it could be a little bit more socialistic, but will it ever go through? No, I think capitalism works. I'm not saying this. I'm not here to say billionaires shouldn't pay more in taxes. I'm saying they should, but I think, you know, at the end of the day, the harder you work, the more you should be rewarded. You should always give back. You should always pay your taxes. Rich people should pay more taxes. Sure, I'm with that. But at the end of the day, it's like it works. Because you shouldn't. People should get rewarded for it, right? And like I said, I'm lucky for you. Your people are listening to this are more into business because everyday person's gonna shit on it, right?
Well, that's it. That's a good way to look at it. I never, because it makes sense why. So you're thinking more of like, I can go to Toronto, I can go to Vancouver. Why not on the other side of Texas? Said,
Well, it's not just Texas. Like, I think America in general. I think there's a lot of UAEs popping right now. I think Singapore, Hong Kong, and these are great places to start stuff. And there are people there that are thinking of this big mindset. Saudi Arabia is on the come up for sure. Dude, there's things. Nigeria. There's a lot of stuff happening in Nigeria right now. Yeah, China's buying up all of Africa, right? There's things happening in other places. Mexico's very strong in tech. Israel's really strong in tech. Peru is really strong in tech. So kind of matters on where you are, right? What you're trying to get into. But when it comes to like Canada, it's less. They're just behind, and will continue to be behind.
wow, bro. So are you ever gonna come back to Winnipeg? Well,
I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm with my kid. Don't fucking matter, man. Winnipeg, Saskatoon, Regina, whatever, man. My my wife want to come here. I'm cool with it. I'll figure it out.
Brandon, man, don't sleep on that.
Brad's nice. Brad's interesting. I don't sleep on Brandon. I was saying, well, to me, it doesn't matter. Now, if I wasn't married with a kid, I'd be like, I should have went to the States a long time ago.
Yeah.
I should have lived that life. Or I should have figured out how to get my visa and go down there. But like, now with a kid, it don't matter to me. I'll figure it out. To me, I don't need. If this was before my kid, I'd be like, okay, let's go get those meals. Let's figure it out. I'd figure it out, right? But like now, I don't need any of that shit. I'm good.
Kid. Earlier, bro, you talked about relationships and building connections. How has like, because I know being an owner of like Stock Sharks meeting, because you were talking to a lot of celebrities and people, CEOs and stuff like that. One of my favorite books is Keith Ferrazzi called Never Eat Alone.
You don't never eat
alone. But Keith Ferrazzi talks about like
I eat alone a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think one of the ways to really, I think, scale or expand your business is people. Right? Earlier you talked about the people. Why do you think that in Winnipeg, primarily, a lot of people are in these different businesses, but there isn't there isn't people who are like coming together and actually talking?
Well, you do. You have like BNIs. You have a lot of stuff going on now, right? I feel like there are some groups. You got the Winter Club over here, whatever it is. A lot of people go to.
But entrepreneurship in general, like there is entrepreneurs for sure, but it's not like these other places like Atlanta, like these, because I'm seeing different.
Bro, it's just like I said, capitalism, man. They breathe it, man. It's just what it is. It's in their blood, man. It's just they work, and it's just what it is, and they come. You know what? It's funny because when I went to Texas, I didn't really know much about it, and I didn't realize people were going to be like the nicest people ever. I had my guard up, and there's no way these people are this nice, and they are, and then you start realizing there's a lot of money to go around. That's why they're not like this here, and especially in Winnipeg, where it's like, oh, there's a deal and everyone's kind of at it. It's not like that there because there's a lot of opportunity, right? So, and I don't know if that's every city, and it could be, you know, it's got this very small city vibe still to Austin, even though it's not that small, but it just, people are just willing to help more. So with me, with relationships, because like I said, life is short. So for me, I'm going to be on my deathbed. I'm going to think about my kid, my wife, my family, and my friends. I'm going to think, oh man, look at all the crazy shit we did. You know, that was cool. That was awesome, right? Sitting by a fun, right? So I was always like, I was never one to take it all. I was always one like, yo, let's build. The only way to scale to another level is have a team, right? So, and when I got burned, when I was at $1 million or whatever during that phase, I was in my parents' basement and I was like secluded, and I was like, I'm never going to trust anyone again. And one of my mentors was like, you got to start trusting people again. And then I started trusting people, and that's when things started to grow. And then, yeah, man, it's just more fun when you're eating together, man. Because I don't need it all, right? Like, that's just what it is. Is like, one, you can't scale it. Sure, you could make, let's just say you start a business tomorrow. You're a home builder, all right? You could probably scale to maybe yourself 7, 8 houses a year, maybe 5, whatever. You can make good money, 200, 300K, but you'll never get to that $1 million, $2 million, $3 million bucks a year. But when you have the right team, you'll get even higher than that. If you're gonna find 5 of me, I've been good.
Yeah. 100%. I think another guy, AJ Sharma. I know he's always kind of has that
It's the best.
family oriented thing. So
Best.
I think you see a lot with Indians and like Filipino. They're always sort of working together. There's always
AJ is different.
yeah.
AJ is different. AJ is like, one, he's trustworthy as hell. Two, he's smart as hell. Three, he doesn't care about money either. He likes the game, and that's all important. Four, it's like, it's not a cultural thing, because no matter what culture you're in, there are always going to be people that want it all for themselves. They'll kill their brother and sister for money, their aunt and uncle, whatever it is. It's more of an ego thing, a family feud. You know, that happens a lot in these cultures.
Yeah.
But yeah, AJ was different. That's why I work so closely with AJ. It's just, he's a different dude. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not, like, that's the thing, is just how greedy are you? Like, I'm always giving, like, if I can find people I could trust, there's always opportunities to make money. Right. And that's how it should be. But trust breaks easy. People lie. People like money too much. People will steal from you. And that's when you got to cut it off sooner than later. Right. Just like relationships. Like,
Yeah, especially when you're doing deals from the U.S. to Canada. Yeah, I asked you, there has to be that trust level, right?
gotta be a lot of trust issues, and then the talent. What are you bringing to the table, right? So just because you're nice and trustworthy and this and that doesn't mean you're bringing anything to the table. So what are you bringing to the table, right? That's really important. What are your strengths, right? Yeah, and then just like taking that on. It's all about strengths, relationships. But man, people are thinking too small. Like in general, and this isn't America or Canada. Just relationships are important, man. This life is short, man. I'm telling you, like 40 years.
100%. What advice would you give to someone who just wants to start like an entrepreneur or wants to get into real estate? What advice would you give that person?
Well, yeah, it depends what type of business you're getting into. Learning from others, like, so, that's a two-side question there, but let's just say, give me a better example than real estate. Or give me niche it down.
Yeah, probably say entrepreneur, like someone who wants to get into entrepreneurship. You think a lot of people nowadays want to get into like different businesses, right? In general, like what would you give?
So let's just say restaurant business or electrician.
Yeah, just
All right, so this is the best of. I actually just had this conversation yesterday with a really smart business guy here. His name's Lee. He owns a company Brandish on Main Street there. Known him since kindergarten. We're talking about where the world's going and how fast the world's moving every week right now. There's one thing that AI can't replace. And there's one thing I wish I listened to my economics teacher at Vincent Massey when I was 16, Mr. McDowell. There's a few industries where the old people are retiring, the kids don't want to take it over. And those are mostly trades. So if you ever sat courtside at a game or you've ever been to NBA games, the guys sitting courtside, majority of them aren't celebrities. Majority of them is the guy that owns the roofing company, the guy that owns the plumbing company, the guy that owns the electrical company. That's the game, because AI can't. And if you're in that industry, that's where, if you have the business sense and the mindset to do it, that's where the money's at, because that's not going nowhere for a while. Like, robots may come, probably not in my lifetime, but AI is going to replace a lot of office jobs, call center stuff, whatever it is, restaurant stuff too. I see happening, but like more on the back end, I would say. But like the real estate, the trades, the guys doing the dirty work, it's going to be a little while. So that's where the money is. You guys just pay the dues, get your red seal, pay the dues, work it, learn it, build a good team, and figure out how to scale. So that's why I got into roofing, right? So I just saw, like, you can't. That's why I like real estate too, because it's a good game to be in. Other than that, you really have to think outside the box, what's working, what's not. And also, depending on how much money you want to make, you can open up a restaurant tomorrow. If you have a stomach for it, might not get filthy rich off it, but it might make you comfortable and happy.
Yeah.
So everybody's success is different based on their own, right? Subjective. So at the end of the day.
And you also too, you're very, because you talked about those skills. Like, I think trades is a good way to kind of go about it. But nowadays, everything is sort of digital. So you already talked about you being a good marketer. How has that helped you transition to sort of, putting yourself out there, promoting your brand, and how has that come about? Because branding nowadays, Gary Vee talks about personal brand. I think we talked
So the thing,
personal brand.
Derek Hormozy. So
Yeah,
the
man.
thing with these guys, I like Gary's attitude and personality. I like Alex a lot too. He's in Austin, dude. He's in Vegas now. But like, give you the best example, Hormozy's funnel system is really saturated. Okay, so I wouldn't run that marketing today. And he did his thing. He showed everyone how to do it. Everyone went and did it, right? But I wouldn't run that marketing today. I don't think the landing page to a funnel doesn't work. I'd probably do more of an event person and run the funnel through that in-person event. Gary and his personal brand, he is right, but also it's very saturated now. So how are you making yourself different than everybody else? Like, how are you going to make this podcast boom compared to everybody else's shit? Right? So what are you doing differently that's going to make people want to listen to you? Right? Lex Friedman went really conversational and long. Joe Rogan, also a lot has to do with timing. But someone's trying to be the next Joe Rogan. What are you going to make yourself different? What niche are you going to hit? Right? So there's a few guys that are doing it really well. Austin's a hub for all of that. But what are you going to niche down? Why are people going to listen to you compared to listening to the other guy? Right? So Stock Sharks got lucky, because if I started Stock Sharks today, it'd probably take me a little while to grow, because, now we grow every day, but it's time. A lot of it had to do with timing. We just were posting shit before it popped off, right? In regards to, like, nobody else was on Instagram at that time. But like, my YouTube's growing slow. We just started YouTube 4 months ago. Trust me, I'm struggling with it, because once again, there's a bunch of finance stuff out there, right? So how do we grow it? How do you make yourself different, right? So we'll figure it out. I gotta craft that. But like, as the moment, it's just continue to do volume and see what happens. But yeah, if you're going to try to get into social media marketing and branding, you don't need to do it to make money. If you could figure out other stuff, like, if you figure out marketing hacks and stuff that the competition is doing and how they grew and what they're not doing, and how you could figure that out, kind of how I did with Winnipeg stuff when it comes to PPC, when it comes to SEO, like, other companies weren't doing the stuff I was doing. And I was like, hey, there's a fit here that I could do, or there's something I could do that can demolish this market. And so I look at stuff like that when I'm about to start a business. Who's the best? How are they marketing? How they did it? How long did they do it? They did it in 8 years. I'm not interested. I need to do it in 2. Right. Well, and I'm not the guy, for me, when it comes to business, someone pitches, oh, this can make $100K a year, I probably wouldn't even entertain it. Right? Because at the end of the day, if you fall 30% short, it's 30K. Someone comes up to me, it's like, this can make 10 million. Well, if I fall short, I'd make 3 million, right? So once again, what's your goal? What's what you're trying to do? What's the end goal, and how much, and you just got to see what the risk reward is and on it.
I think your point is more about the value proposition. Like, what is it that actually makes you stand out? Because the market, I think there's a lot of guys, no idea, bro. Yeah.
Trust me, we're going to do a Stock Sharks podcast. We're like, too many people doing it.
Yeah.
Now we can go into more controversial stuff when it comes to some of our videos and stuff, which you can see in the Stock Sharks, but like storytelling, talking about an industry and then going into a company. But yeah, just kind of like finding your niche, and then the community. So people actually thought Stock Sharks was like a big media company. And then, like, I'm literally saying DMs to people to say, hey, what's up? How's it going? Thanks for commenting. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, dude, we're 2 guys. I'm like super open on them. Dude, real estate's my main hustle, trying to turn this into a full-time thing. But for now, this is what it is. So, building that relationship and that people, that type of brand where people are like, yo, that guy's fucking cool. That's what you need. Right? So Gary Vee hits that young entrepreneur trying to get it. Alex Hormozi hits the marketers. He doesn't hit like normal day folks. He's trying, hey, this is my niche. This is the marketers, right? I could tell everybody in marketing and branding love Alex Hormozi. And don't get me wrong, I like the guy. I love what he designed, but I think his funnels don't work anymore. Like, it might. I just tried it over and over again. I'm like, it's oversaturated.
Yeah. And I think also too about the landing page, you got to look at the top dog, which is Russell Brunson. I think who's
ClickFunnels.
Yeah, ClickFunnels. I think there's always a source to.
And this guy do other stuff now too, right?
So transition. So
so different pivots. You make the money, you milk it for the time you can, and then you gotta catch on to the next thing, and you gotta be up to date on. I'm not hating on any of these; they're all brilliant and all done extremely well, and all their stuff has worked. But once it hits the masses, you gotta figure out a growth hack, whatever it is. So, and then data is important too. So there's some shit that I do marketing that I've been doing since I was 16 that still work, including mailers. Right. I get my ROI on mailers when it comes to real estate and stuff like that every time. So why don't I just triple down on that shit instead of trying to hit Facebook ads or Instagram ads or whatever? Like, for me, TikTok's never worked. I felt like, I don't think it's hard to sell a big ticket item or a medium sized ticket item on TikTok. I mean, you can probably, it hasn't really worked for me, right? That's all.
The fundamentals, man. That's what Sheraz is saying.
But it's just like, well, it works, man. Like, but then look at Stock Sharks. It was built on Instagram, right? So yeah, like that's literally an Instagram thing, right? So it works. It's just, and you don't have to do them all. You just have to find one or two that work, right? I have a boy that makes so much money off LinkedIn, just LinkedIn, right? And kills it, completely destroys it, and it just works for him. He doesn't go into other shit.
Yeah. So focus on one thing until expand.
One, focus on two, whatever works, right? You said TikTok was working for you. I'd probably double, triple down on that shit, right? Maybe run some ads, see how that goes. Yeah, man, and then grow it from there, man. That was awesome.
This is pretty cool, man. Yo, Sheraz, thank you for jumping on the show, bro. I've been a big fan of Stock Sharks. You know, the season watching a lot of this stuff, and
Fun, man.
what's like? I know you're into stocks. Give us like top 5 picks that we could close out with, because people want to learn how to. You know what I mean? What are your 5 top picks for the next
top 5 picks?
think-
Well, this isn't financial. Like, you might lose all your money. I'm into more of like, there's a company, there's an insurance company called Markel. It's like, it's just slow paced, but it should continue to grow. It's an insurance company. It's a very fundamental stock. You know what, Rocket Lab, I was pretty bullish on, and we timed that one really right. That's a space company, aerospace company, in New Zealand, I believe. Nike, I told people to buy like 50, 55. I told my friends to look at it, including my sister, and swing until 80. I thought that was good. It got smoked by tariffs. Called that one really good. That was an easy one though. I probably wouldn't hold that for, I don't like retail. I probably wouldn't hold that for too long. ASML is a really interesting one that makes those chips. Stock's pretty high. It's really risky. I'd definitely be careful with that one. What else do I like right now? I like Bitcoin right now because of the administration. But yeah, that's not financial advice. You guys might lose all your money, so don't blame me if you lose all.
I think that
My partner knows everything more, but I'm not too active in the markets right now. I own Stock Sharks. I know the market, but I don't have much money in it right now.
Yeah. That's a good list, man. I think there's a couple. I think technology is very big right now. I think NVIDIA has been one of my big.
NVIDIA.
I think there's one thing I bet on that.
I don't know how high NVIDIA is getting. I didn't think it was going to 4 trillion, but it did. So
Yeah. I like NVIDIA. I like Amazon. Amazon, another big one for me.
Amazon's interesting. Amazon was not profitable until Amazon Cloud Services came around, right? So it was an interesting play. Amazon's interesting. I wouldn't bet against Jeff Bezos, but he's really focused on a space company right now. Google's doing some cool shit, but we'll see where that goes with the Waymo stuff. I don't know if they're going to branch that out separately, but Meta is interesting with WhatsApp ads, Instagram kind of taking over, and depending what happens to TikTok, if they ban it or not, which doesn't look like they are, but if they did, Instagram, Meta that stock would go up 30% instantly.
Yeah.
I actually just did a video on Meta. We're posting it.
You staying away from Tesla? You can grab it.
Tesla, at a $1 trillion market cap. I like Tesla a lot right now. And the reason being is because of the robotaxi. Like, I think that's just gonna make anyone money.
Yeah.
So I hated Tesla, just the car itself. I love Elon, but until about 2 months ago, my boy bought one. And they're every second car in Austin, by the way. Like, GigaFat, it's every second car is Tesla. But he's like, drive. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna jump in. But he put on that automated driving thing, the self-driving shit. And right there and then, I'm like, wow. I was like, this is great. And you can't, like for me, that drives around all the time, I need the ability to be on my laptop, on my phone to make some moves, right? So like even in Winnipeg, I was ready to hire a driver at one point. But like at least that I get that hour or two back making moves on my computer or on my phone. So seeing that, and right now you can't do that because you have to actually be in your driver's seat. You have to be holding the thing. You can't be just on your phone because there's the camera that looks down. But the minute they give that full driving, you do whatever you want. I'll probably end up buying one of those cars. I won't like the car, but
Yeah. No, I like Tesla. I think on the dip, I'm always a Tesla fan.
Tesla. I would never bet against Elon.
It's a roller coaster ride, but
And I heard the robots are in Tesla too, so we'll see how
yeah,
that goes.
I've definitely made some money off that, man. So, Shiraz, thank you so much for jumping
Man,
on
thank
on the
you, man.
podcast.
Oh, it's cool. You asked a lot of good questions, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, bro, I've been a big fan. And how this happened, bro, is literally just through DMs. You know, I think DMs is great. We've been just talking.
It's a big convos on the phone too, so I was like,
Exactly. Yeah, we jumped on a call and then the magic happened, man. So, bro, I appreciate it, man.